Well, good morning or good afternoon or good evening from wherever you are tuning in from. My name is Angeline Constantinu. I am the founder, CEO, and empowerment life coach of Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. And I help and empower women to regain their power back and to help them step into their true purpose and calling in life. So, welcome to the broadcast here. I am live right now in my Let's Break the Silence Facebook group, also on my YouTube channel, which is Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. And I am also live on my Facebook business page, which is Let's Break the Silence. So, before we get started, please hashtag live if you are watching the live right now. And if you are catching the replay, please hashtag replay. So this is a subject that I wanted to talk about. And actually, this topic about forgiveness is truly a hot button topic, in my opinion. And by the way, this episode will be uploaded onto my podcast, which is on Spotify for podcasters, Spotify, Google, Apple, and all the live streams. So I will be uploading this episode. It will be available tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. So I encourage you, if you are struggling with forgiveness, please listen to this podcast episode, because this particular post that I posted on Sunday, it struck a chord with me, and I'm going to read it to you. Forgiving people in silence and never speaking to them again is a form of self-care. And I know that feeling all too well. Being victorious and free from domestic violence for 14 and a half years, I struggled with this issue for a long, long time. And it's not only, because I was married, it was not only in my relationship, it was also, I struggled with this issue with some family members and friends who I thought had my back. And it turns out that they had stabbed me in the back. So forgiving someone means not letting them back in your life. Forgiving means, so what does this mean for you? What does this actually mean? And if you can drop a comment below of what forgiveness means to you, I would really, really appreciate it. So with that being said, it's a form of self-care because you're allowing self-love to come back into your life. You are removing those blocks that are preventing you from living the life that you truly, truly deserve to live. And healing is also to be completely healed from emotional freedom. So to free ourselves from the psychological bondage of regret and resentment, we can consciously choose to forgive. And one of the ways that we can do this is through meditation. We can do this through meditation healing. Now, yesterday, because I am part of this virtual speaking summit that starts tomorrow, we did a meditation healing with a healing practitioner. And I can tell you this, in the 15 minutes that we did this healing meditation, I felt exhausted, but at the same time, I felt exhausted, after the meditation, I drank almost this whole bottle of smart water, because when you do healing meditation, it is highly recommended that you drink water before you start doing your deep breath work. So as soon as we finished the meditation yesterday, I could not move off the couch for 15 minutes. And we were actually told to sit for 15 minutes. 15 more minutes, because I was getting ready to head out. So I stayed for another 10 minutes, didn't do any social media. I just rested and relaxed, and then I went out. After this healing meditation, I felt exhausted, mentally exhausted. However, 2 hours later, I felt invigorated. So, because what this type of healing meditation does, it helps you remove those energy blocks. And now, with so many things that are happening now with my personal and professional life, it's time to let go of those blocks. And it requires a lot of inner healing work. So if this topic resonates with you, please hashtag resonate in the comments. And for those of you who are going to be catching the replay, just hashtag replay for me. So what I want to do is this. I have learned to forgive. So I really don't talk about my personal life too much. I do talk about, like, the marriage that I was in, and I feel very grateful that I am free. I declared freedom and liberation and victory from domestic violence because I escaped domestic violence 14 and a half years ago. And now I am living the life that I truly deserve to live. But this is something that I did not share. Okay, and this is going to be a little messy. One of the blocks that I let go of was I was close to my ex-sister-in-law. And I know, like, during my divorce, we lost contact because of the divorce, because of everything that was happening and everything. So she passed away like 5 years ago. And then that night I forgave her. That night I actually forgave her for, doing things, for just hurting me, because obviously she supported her brother and I was married to her brother. So this is something that I haven't shared in public, but I am bringing this out in the open, okay? Because we are all destined to live great lives. So when you move into a place where you can forgive someone in silence, first of all, it opens up the gateway for abundance. And shoulda, woulda, coulda doesn't really help. It's all about bringing clarity to the situation. So, in the case of my marriage, and the fact that I was, verbally abused, physically abused, there was financial abuse, or all these things that are going on, I chose to let go of, his family and his friends. So it means that you are not letting them back in your life. It's a form of self love and self care, and you are freeing yourself. You are letting go of that block that is holding you back, because it's holding you back from achieving your dreams and your goals. And I was talking actually to a client of mine this morning, not going to mention her name, but we're talking about that. Letting go. I mean, it is hard. I would rather be addicted to growth than be addicted to suffering, because I can tell you this: if you are addicted to suffering, you will continue to suffer. And this is something that I struggled with for a long time before I filed for my divorce and wrote out my check to the attorney for $5,500. And that was against one of my credit cards. But I said, you know what? What good is the money if you're miserable? And I woke up with an epiphany. And that literally was the pivoting moment in my life. And I had to go through a huge breakdown because, I was married for 23 years. This was not like a 5-year marriage. I was married for half of my adult life. So when I filed for my divorce, I started on this spiritual path of personal development, and I had joined a company which changed my life. And 1 year later, on May 11th of 2011, I signed the divorce papers. And at the same time I signed the divorce papers was the same time that I had rank advanced in this health and fitness company that I used to be partnered with. But at that time, that company changed my life because it put me into, I was networking with people. I was bringing people into my organization behind the scenes. I was actually MIA from social media for a while because I had to work behind the scenes, and because it was like survival mode for me. I was basically living like a gypsy for 1 year, staying in people's houses, staying in, motel rooms, which honestly, I did it, but I did it. I did it because I did what I had to do. So let's go back to forgiveness. But the moral of the story is, when you forgive someone for something that they did wrong to you, and it could be anything. I mean, recently, with a friend who I'm not going to mention, and he follows me on social media, he recently put me down. And I haven't shared this story openly yet, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically was talking down to me while I was on his live. So I reached the conclusion that on Friday that I was no longer going to be subjected to that kind of condescending conversation. So instead of stooping to his level, I left alive, and I never looked back. And I have no intention of going back again. So, this is another example of forgiving someone in silence. So I forgave that person and in silence. And now I am moving forward with my life. And fortunately, I feel free from that. So doing that healing meditation yesterday really, really helped me yesterday let go of that block that was inside my, system. Because so while I was doing that healing meditation yesterday, there's a lot of moving parts, there's a lot of emotions that are going through you. So that actually happened yesterday. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that, because in life, people come and go in your life, and there are going to be people who are going to try to hurt you, admonish you, just, basically put you down. But it's up to you to pick yourself back up again. And it's up to you to forgive, because when you forgive, you are healing. When you forgive, you choose freedom, you choose harmony, you take your power back, and you truly choose to heal. And forgiveness is one of the most powerful practices of healing. It releases the physical and emotional stress that is in your body. So if this topic resonates with you, and if you feel that this topic is resonating with you, drop hashtag resonate in the comments below. So what I'm going to do is this, regarding this topic. This topic is going to be, this live will be uploaded onto my podcast. So it will be live early tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And also, I have a special announcement to make right after I share something that I just came across. Don't be angry with people who don't have the capacity to change. So, in forgiving someone, if they're not willing to change, because we cannot change people, we can only control on how we react. So, if they're not going to change, forgive them. And when you forgive them, like I said, forgive them in silence. It's a form of self-love. And when that happens, and when you start loving on yourself again, you will be able to love on other people. And I know that was something that I struggled with in the beginning, but through mentorship and coaching and investing in myself, I was able to overcome that. And this week, this Wednesday, the announcement that I'm going to make is, we need to rise, especially us women here. We need to rise up and lock arms with each other. So starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time, I am one of 20 speakers of the Get Out of Your Own Way Damn Summit. So get inspired to make a change, and please join us. Registration is free. You will be added to the Facebook group, and I will be kicking it off on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time on how I went from a breakdown to a breakthrough from domestic violence. So I will be sharing my story on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And to register for that, please go to tracyleeliving.com/ get out of her damn way summit, and get inspired to make a change and get out of your own damn way with us. Because guess what? I had to get out of my own way in order to be the best version of myself. And also, I had to get out of my own way because right now I am in a position, we're in a new season now. It's September. Everything that we are doing right now is preparing us for the next level. So I feel super happy and blessed to be part of this amazing summit. So please go to this link, and this link will be posted in the show notes. We start tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and I will post this link into the comment threads of the live, because right now, like I said, we're live on Facebook and we are live here on my YouTube channel. So if you got value from this live, please hashtag live in the comments, or please hashtag value in the comments. And God willing, I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Please register for the summit. You will be added to the Facebook group, and we will be streaming live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I wish you all an amazing day. Take care. Bye.